Yinka, and I'm going to talk to you today about self-esteem. Self-esteem and you, it's very important at this stage in your life that you develop healthy self-esteem, because it's what is going to prepare you for the future. It's what's going to prepare you to live an exemplary life outside of this environment. The environment you're living in here as a boarder is a very closed environment. You are guided by your teachers, you are guided by your parents. But by the time you end up going into higher institutions, you're going to be pretty much on your own. And you're going to have to develop the skills in order for you to survive and to live a happy life. Because if you agree, if you look around, everything around in the world is depressing. If you read the news, it's depressing. If you see what's happening, like Christiana mentioned about the Chibok girls, it's depressing. If you hear ISIS, it's depressing. These things have the tendency to, depress you. But in order for you to live a life above depression, you're going to have to develop a very healthy self-esteem. So before I really start, I just want to talk to you. I have two children. My son is 15 and my daughter is 12. So you are in the age range of my kids, and so I'm also in a very good position to talk to you. The second reason why I'm in a good position to talk to you is because self-esteem, or the lack of it, is something that I have struggled with in the years growing up when you were your age. I think the last time I was here, if some of you were in attendance, I shared my story about how I was sexually abused at about 7 or 8. And that left a lasting impression on me. Unfortunately, in those days, that was taboo to talk about it. Today, you can easily meet people like Christiana. There are lots of places that you can actually go to talk about what happens to you. And as a result of the houseboy, it was a houseboy that raped me. It wasn't just the once, it was over and over again. I developed very, very negative esteem. I didn't think anything of myself, and so when I got into the university, I started, and that's why I'm in a position to talk to you, because I know if you do have negative self-esteem, what it can lead you to do. And so I developed unhealthy relationships, because as a result of that, my parents, my mother in particular, was sleeping. I felt I wasn't loved. Some of you may have those same issues at home. I don't know your home situation, because she did mention different types of violence, and the psychological and the verbal violence or abuse tends to come from the home front. But what happened to me was I made the wrong choices. I made wrong friends. I ended up doing the things that I ought not to have done, and I found myself in a relationship with a guy that used to beat me physically. And I thought it was okay. I thought I deserved it, because afterwards he would say, oh, that he really loved me, but that I was this and I was that, and I was never good enough for him. There's nothing that I did that ever pleased him, and I ended up, and I couldn't get away, I couldn't break away, because I didn't have the skills, I didn't know what to do. So today you're here, you're learning these things. It's not something that you should listen and then throw away. It's something that you should listen and that you should store in your memory, because there's going to come a time when you will need it. So, first of all, what is self-esteem? I want somebody to tell me, what's the definition of self-esteem? Anybody? Anybody? And if you don't volunteer yourself, I'll come and meet you. Okay, I'm coming. If I catch your eyes, you're going to answer my question. Don't look away.
Self-esteem is like the ability to believe in yourself and like have faith and confidence.
That's very, very true. Very nice. I want another one. Anybody has something different to say? Yeah? You that should take this and that. Okay, you. Yeah.
I think self-esteem means what you think of yourself, how you feel about yourself, if you think you're good enough for people or not.
Yes, that's very true. So both of your answers are correct. And I'm glad that you actually know, yeah? So, according to the dictionary, dictionary.com, it's a realistic. Now, there's a difference between seeing yourself in a particular way and a realistic way of seeing yourself. Because there are some unrealistic ways of seeing yourself, but it's a realistic respect or favorable impression that you have of yourself. It can also be defined as self-respect. You respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, there are certain things you will never allow yourself to go through. I put it simply as it's a healthy regard for yourself and you have self-worth. I think one of her presentations mentioned it about having self-worth. That means you know that you are valuable. Inside of you, you see yourself as valuable. Anyway, there are two types of esteem, right? So esteem is actually the way you see yourself. Esteem can be high and esteem can be low. I just talked about my struggle with low self-esteem. And it is something that if you don't develop the skills now, you will end up struggling with it for a very long time. I struggled with it for a very long time. I struggled with it even in my marriage. So it's something that you have to go out of your way, you know, in order for you to rise above feeling inferior, feelings of inferiority. You know, they have no place in your life. The high self-esteem or the good self-esteem, which helps you to live a positive life, and then you have the negative esteem, which makes you live a mediocre life. So a mediocre life is a life lived less than you should. I want to bring, right now, I want to talk about Malala. How many of you who know who Malala is? Yeah? I think all of you should know who she is. Right? What did she just win? The Nobel Peace Award, a joint peace award. She's the youngest to ever win that award, and she was at 17. And she's the first person from Pakistan. She's a Muslim, so it cuts across gender, it cuts across age, it cuts across religion. And why did she win it? She has a voice. When Malala came to Nigeria, all of us were there. She was able to achieve what we here could not, because she has courage. Despite the circumstances in which she found herself, she regards herself high enough to be able to make an impact in today's world, and an impact she is making. And that's what each and every one of you is meant to do. It may not be winning a Nobel Peace Prize, but it is to make an impact, to own your own business, to run a successful family. Some of you, among you here, are owners of oil companies. You can even be the president of Nigeria if you wish. You have to develop that ability within you, telling yourself that I can be all that I was created to be. So we have some external ways that self-esteem affects us as at your age, okay? And I'm going to talk about when I speak with my own children, what happens. And we have things that sometimes you actually cannot control. The first one is academic. Now you're in a class and you have one or two people that are always coming first, second, third. They get all the A's and they get all the B's, and there you are, you're struggling at a C, and you feel inferior. You feel you're not good enough because X is so intelligent and you are not. Well, let me tell you something. Intelligence is not a criteria for success in life. You know what a criteria for success in life is? Having esteem for yourself and hard work. I tell you that intelligence that comes easy to child A, she doesn't really have to work very hard. She just makes A's naturally. And you that you're making a C, for instance, you work really hard. I tell you that you have a better work ethic than the one that's making A's off of the top of her head. And that means that later in life, you already have developed that work ethic, and that takes you all the way to the top. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. So academic, so there are ways in which you can feel inferior, or you can feel that you're not as good as XYZ because you're not doing as well, quote unquote, in school. Then you have financial. We all are going through the times where everything is all about what you have, where you've traveled to, what you did for summer. You know, oh, I went to the UK, oh, I went to America, oh, I went to Turkey, I went to France, and this is what I got, and these are the latest shoes, and these are the latest, you know, the Abercrombie and all the things that young people like to wear. I've got to have them, I've got to wear them. But the truth of the matter is that as these fingers are not equal, your parents' financial status is not equal. And the ability to wear a branded t-shirt and the ability to travel should not be what your self-esteem rests on. You are more than that. Those things will pass away. When I was growing up, my father used to be the one that traveled. He'd bring back our stuff for us. Now I travel with my kids, but I tell my kids something in the school that they're at. I said that, you see, in this school that you are in, there are 3 types of people. There are the people that have a lot of money, there are the people like you, and then there are the people that are on scholarship or don't have. So at the end of the day, don't now compare yourself to somebody who comes to school in a limousine, for instance, and think that that's how your father ought to come into school, or we have to come and visit you in a limousine. You have to accept who we are. And it's very key that you accept who you are right now at this level that you're at. The thing that is important is how hard you work now will determine how much you may have in the future. But money should not be, but it usually is an indicator of self-esteem. Then we have your physical attributes. You're all girls. Some of you have breasts, some of you don't, some of you will develop bigger ones, some of you won't, some of you will have shape 8, some of you won't. The fact of the matter is that already as I'm seeing you, because I can identify who looks like my daughter, okay, let me ask you. How old are you?
13.
Yeah.
13.
Okay, you're 13. How old are you?
10.
You're 10. Okay, how old are you?
12.
You're 12. Okay, how old are you?
12.
Okay, so please, if you're 12, stand up. You're 12, stand up. Okay. Now, both of them are 12. Who else is 12 here? Stand up. Are you 12? Okay, stand up. Stand up and stand up. I just come out. I just want to. If you're 12, stand up here, please. Just come out. Please, I'm trying to tell you something here. Okay, so can we, okay, great. So they're all 12. They may be 12, one in January, 12 in one in December, but they're all 12. But are they all the same? No. They're not, and they never will be, because that's not how they were created to be. So because she's a tall 12, and she's a small 12, does it make you less? It doesn't, does it? Does it make you more? It doesn't, does it? Okay, you are a bit bigger than, for instance, she is. So you're more like me, and then she is almost like Christiana. We're different. Does that make you better? Does that make you better? No, exactly, it doesn't. Okay, you can go back to your seat. It doesn't make any of you better than the other. You're all different. And for this, I just wanted to show you what I have here. In this bowl, how many of you like fruits? Yeah, everybody, yeah? And you guys all have your the types of fruits that you like, right? Okay, so which one do you like, for instance? Pineapple, just answer. Yeah, pineapple? Who likes oranges? Okay, who likes pawpaw? Who likes watermelon? Okay, fine, so everybody, I don't like watermelon, for instance. So I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it. But if I had it in a fruit salad, I'd eat it. So what I'm trying to say is, just as the girls that stood up in front of you and are all 12 and are all different, you're going to be different in life. So you can't allow your difference to be a sense of, oh, I am not as tall as, I am not as beautiful as, my hair is not as long as. You're going to have to, this is the stage that you're at. My daughter, I said 12 because my daughter is 12. And so she's very tall, she's quite slim. She hasn't developed boobs yet, you know, so we're still struggling to put on bras for her. But the fact of the matter is that you're all different and you're all beautiful in your own way. So don't allow society to define what you look like. You don't look like that girl in the magazine. You don't look like that girl on the video, because those ones are all made up. If I remove my makeup right now, you probably won't recognize me, maybe because of the hair and maybe because of the color. So that's what makeup does. disguises. So when you see somebody in the magazine or you see somebody in a video, you watch Disney Channel or all those programs that you love to watch at your age, you know, you guys watch Disney Channel, yeah? Okay, so Selena Gomez and all Jessie and all those programs that you guys really like, right? I watch them with my daughter so that I know what you guys like, you know. And you see them all very well made up, and even as a nanny, Jessie's a nanny, and she looks tush and everything. That's not realistic, that's not real life. So never look at somebody else that you see on television and think, oh, why am I not like them? Because if you tend to compare yourself with unrealistic people, you develop low self-esteem. So in the same way that all the fruits are different, some are long and skinny, some are round like me, some are yellow like me. At the end of the day, if they all cut them up and put them into a bowl, we'll make a wonderful fruit salad. And that's what we are in the world. We're a wonderful fruit salad. By the time you put yourself all together, you all have a purpose. Okay? So at the end of the day, you have to stop looking at yourself as... And then at the end of the day, she talks so much about sexual situations, you know. At 12, maybe not. At 13, at 14, in the schools that I have heard of, I know that girls of 13, 14 are already indulging in oral sex with the opposite sex, you know. And I hope that none of you have been doing that. But the fact of the matter is, you do it to be popular. So you're not as quote-unquote good-looking. So you're not as skinny as you think you ought to be. So you don't travel to America every summer. And so in order for you to be popular, you decide that, okay, I'm going to be popular with the guys. And you put it out. And you put it out. And then you are very suggestive. And I know that girls on the surface, because of where I've been in the PTA in the school that I'm coming from, will look very innocent on the surface. But inside of them, there's already that desire, that wanting to be loved, that wanting to be needed, wanting to be appreciated. That is all coming from low self-esteem. So what do? You begin to sleep with the boys. You begin to have oral sex. It may not go down to the full physical thing, but that's how it starts. Then by the time you leave here, A-levels, university, you'll be putting it out for anybody who asks you. The fact of the matter is that every time you do something like this, every time you take a wrong decision, it depletes who you really are. There's an essence inside each and every one of you, and every time you allow your self-esteem to help you to make the wrong decisions, to lie, to steal, to cheat. You cheat in exams because you want to pass. You are losing a little bit of yourself. And I'm going to give you a demonstration of just exactly what you're doing. Okay, I think with these visuals, because sometimes I feel that a lot of words you may lose, but you won't lose visuals. So, this is we all love Fanta, yeah? This is a cup of Fanta. Beautiful and orange. This is the essence that you are. Because orange, I chose orange because orange is a bright color. Orange is a color of life. It's a color of sunshine. It's a color of vitality. And this is who you are. This is what you have on the inside. So every time you choose to make the wrong decision, you choose to steal, you choose to lie, you choose to put out for a guy, in whatever shape or form, you take a selfie without your top on. It may seem innocent, it's just your little bra, your buds are spouting, and the boy says, okay, send me one of yourself. And the fact of the matter is what you guys do. Hey! And you think it's all innocent. I've seen, it's true. You're laughing, hey! You're all there up with yourself, with your selfies, and then it's like, you don't want to hide, you want to hide your face, you're just taking your body. I've seen it on some of my son's friends on Facebook. And I mean, this is not as he was 15, and I've seen it generally. So what happens when you decide that you're going to sleep? Even as at now, you may think, oh, 10, I'm too young, 12, I'm too young. 15, 16, 17, when you get into university, this is essentially what happens to you. Every time you put out, every time you allow somebody to pour into you what is not right, this is what happens. You pour, and you pour. This is your life. People are pouring. They're pouring into you. They're pouring into you. Wrong decisions, wrong influences, wrong friendships, everything. What happens? You're watered down. You are no longer the vital self that you were. Believe me, take it from me. This is what becomes of you. This is what becomes of you. You no longer have any self-esteem. You'll be struggling. This is what you become. This is because the water, because of purposes, it actually can get to completely clear. Completely clear. Then you find that you are lost. You've lost your virginity. You've lost your purity. You've lost anything that was vital inside of you for some pleasure moments. That's what low self-esteem does to you.